to start, please? Okay, so shall we start now?
Okay, don't wasting time. I need it.
Shall we start? Okay, so good morning to all of you. Thank you very much for this beautiful event, and I would like to welcome you to the 35th anniversary of Bosowa University International webinar, working together with the World Council of Preventive and Regenerative Medicine, Paris. So my name is Dr. Jana Janovska, and I'm from Latvia. I'm member, luckily, for VOCPM in Paris with 74 members around the world. So congratulations to Professor Slay and Professor Maren. And now I'd like to welcome our moderator for the international webinar, which is powered by VOCPM, Bosowa University, Indonesia Medical School Association, Cell Tech Stem Cell Center, Dermaprom, MediOzone, Dr. Akhar Clinic, VOCM, Vitamin D Society Indonesia, EFHRE International University, Cilium Hospital. And please let me welcome our Professor Debbie Vinsky. She is the president of the World Council of Preventive Medicine, Paris, owner of Vinsky Tower Anti-Aging Center and Celtech Stem Cell Center Laboratory and Banking, graduated from the Medical Faculty of Sam Ratulangi, Manado, and continued at University in Jakarta. Master of Anti-Aging Program at Dresden University in German, doctoral program at the Institute of Bioregulatory and Gerontology, St. Petersburg of Russia. And Professor Debbie is a professor of anti-aging from the master's program at the University in Spain. Professor Debbie also received the title of Honor Professor, professor from the Academic Union, Oxford, UK. So, dear professor, doctors, scientists around the world, please welcome our professor, Dr. Debbie Vinsky.
Well, thank you very much for a very nice introduction, Dr. Jana Janovska from Republic of Latvia. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening for the people around the world, professor, doctor, scientists from Indonesia and around the world. And I welcome also the president of WOSIAM, Dr. Claude Dal, the very famous professor, and Dr. Marhen Harjo, and the most is director of Bosowa University. I'd like to welcome all of you on the 35th anniversary of Bosowa University, the famous university in Indonesia. Welcome to the international webinar working together with the World Council of Preventive and Regenerative Medicine in Paris, and also with Indonesian Medical Association and WOSIAM in Paris. So this is international event, Dr. Maren, and all participants. We start our program.
Thank you.
Yes, we start our program by the speech from our president of Bosowa University, Professor Dr. Insinyur Muhammad Saleh Palu, Master of Engineer. I give you welcome and the time for Professor Dr. Muhammad Saleh Palu. Please, Professor Saleh Palu, the president of Bosowa University.
Thank you very much. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, all participants. Today, my rector, Professor Dr. Isnur Muhammad Salifalu, cannot present it today because he is the representative of the yes. But next, ladies and gentlemen, is all latest price and then the present and Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala. Up to agree at the way of the off at the still get is the pledge without any barriers at all and good health. Next, to Honorable, especially Dr. Matt Yana, and especially Honorable Professor Dr. Susanti Fiski, FCD MSc PhD, President of WOCP, FC Fed and Special Moderator today. Good afternoon, good morning, and good evening, all participants, because Indonesian today is afternoon. Sorry. Next, I want to call Mr. Honorable Dr. Sonia Farhani, founder and CEO of Defro Wellness and Anti-Aging. Next, Honorable Dr. Delta, President of the World Society of Interdisciplinary of Aesthetics and Anti-Aging Medicine, Human Growth Hormone for the Representative, Regenerative and Anti-Aging Medicine. Next, Honorable Dr. Ignacio Sepupo both of Italy, the International get that aging in Trevi. Next, Honorable Dr. Heitel of Semamura, SPBV Medical Service Director of Seton CSG, understanding stem cell sector Exxon. Next, Honorable Dr. Carlos Yagan, SPTOT, Spine Specialist of Second Hospital, Medical Stem Care for the Cree, Desleset. Next, Professor Dr. Jenny Rosen, question MD, PhD, and Professor Raul Moya, President of IFPRI International University, Barcelona, Spain, comprehensive education and presented regulation and anti-aging medicine, and still cell update master program in EU, Barcelona, and face John with WO PCPN. Dr. Ibrahim Abakar to honor of Clinic Bone, injector tip in open photography. Yes. Next, Dr. Ruhi Shakir, owner of the Wendy's and Itigen. Next, Dr. Henry Suhendra Espote, Chairman at Vitamin D Society Donation, which update 50%. And especially I call Mr. Marahin Haradjo, MDM Biomed PhD, Director of Research Institute of International Medical Association, some to them today, Dean of Medical Faculty Bosowa University Makassar, Indonesia. I thank you for your willingness to share your experiences and knowledge to this international seminar. Thank you for participation. Who have taken the time is participate in the seminar. Even this, I will convey is the opportunity. It is honor for me to hear the first speech. This seminar speech to give be to new this about with success in development of the world effort. Of course, the role in doctors of the health workers greatly determines human development. Without healthy health, there is not meaning to life. I hope that even the days of not the time of this discussion, but games can be will and integrated marriage with in the end will strengthen each other's knowledge. Like in today's globalization world, winning the war in health, cooperation is the best choice. And academic, scientific, sectoral, egoist must not avoid it. More especially, I very interesting, there is anti-aging, where all human activity avoid basis and always want to look young. Of course, with today's health technology, everything can be done mystery by the medical world today. And to the committee and behalf of the leadership, thank you for your hard work as this happen and can be carried back for 50. With the permission of the audience, introduce me to again this event with Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, World International Seminar with the theme Cutting Edge of Anti-Medicine, Anti-Aging, Medicine, and Stem Cell Technology. I totally open some more and less, please forget. Thank you. That is, I wanted to thank you very much for listening. Let us keep safe and never give it, but hope during this difficult pandemic. Tain wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, good
Waalaikumsalam.
evening, all participants. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you, the Vice President, Vice Rector of Bosowa University, Insinyur Baharudin, for the speech, including already open this international seminar. The next program is as moderator, I'd like to welcome the well-known Dr. Marhain Harjo, Medical Doctor, Master of Biomed, PhD, the Director of Research Institute of Indonesian Medical Association, and the Dean of the Faculty of Medicine, Bosowa University. Please give a speech and welcome to all of the participants. The time is for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Debbie, for the good moderator for us. And also I would like to appreciate to my President of University, Vice Rector, Insinyur Baharudin, MSc, PhD, and also the honorable speakers today.
Yeah.
I cannot say one by one, but
Yes.
of course, you are welcome. All of you welcome to the webinar.
Thank you.
Okay, please, Sharon, help me to share the screen for my keynote speaker today. Sharon?
Already. It's already shared, Dr. Marhain.
Okay.
Okay.
I cannot see in the screen.
Okay. Now we can see.
I will talk. Okay.
Sebelumnya.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
I think all of you can see the slide. The title is Introduction Society 5.0. Yeah. Next slide, please. What is Society 5.0? One definition is a human-centered society advancement with the space. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Okay, the Society 5.0 was proposed in the Science and Technology Basic Plan as a future society that we shall aspire to. It followed the Hunting Society, Society 1.0, Agricultural Society, Society 3.0, and Information Society, Society 4.0. And right now, we will go to the new society, Society 5.0. Next. Next, please.
Oh, dia terlambat.
What's happened? Okay.
You are freezing, Dr. Marhain. Yeah. Dr. Marhain, I lost you. We lost you.
Okay.
Okay, good, great.
To achieve Society 5.0 in the information society, Society 4.0, cross-sectional sharing of knowledge and information was not enough, and cooperation was difficult. Because there is a limit to what people can do. The task of finding the necessary information from overflowing information and scope of action were restricted due to age and varying degree of ability. Also, due to various restrictions on issues such as decreasing birth rate and aging population and local depopulation, it was difficult to respond adequately. Next slide, please. Social reform, innovation in Society 5.0 will achieve a forward-looking society that breaks down the existing sense of stagnation. A society whose members have mutual respect for each other, transcending the generation, and society in which each and every person can lead an active and enjoyable life. Next slide. Next, please. How Society 5.0 works. Society 5 won't achieve a high degree of convergence between cyberspace, virtual space, and physical space, real space. In the past information society, Society 4.0, people will access a cloud service database in cyberspace via the internet and search for, retrieve, and analyze information or data by himself. Hook amount of in cyberspace. In cyberspace, this big data is analyzed by artificial intelligence, and the analysis results are fed back to human in physical space in various forms. In the past, information society, the common practice was to collect information via the network and have it analyzed by human. In Society 5.0, by
Dr. Marhain, we lost you. Dr. Marhain is like 3 hours flight from Jakarta. So he is in Makassar. I hope he will get back to us soon. Dr. Marhain is the Dean of the Faculty of Medicine of Bosowa University. So this event, I think, is very important event, and it's a good collaboration during the pandemic.
maybe
Oh yes, you
I'm
can
here right now.
Please.
Okay, next slide, please, Sharon. Okay, next slide. Next slide, please. Society 5.0's balance economic development and solve social issue. It can be said that the environment surrounding the world is in an era of drastic change. As the economic grow, life is become prosperous and convenient. The demand for energy and foodstuff is increasing, lifespan is become longer, and the aging society is advanced. In addition, the globalization of the economy is progressing, international competition is becoming increasingly severe, and problems such as the concentration of wealth and regional inequality are growing. Social problems that must be solved in opposition to such economic development have become increasingly complex. In the face of such major change in the world, new technologies such as IoT, robotic, AI, and big data, all of which can affect the course of society, are continuing to progress technology in all industrial and social activity and achieve both economic development and solution to social problem in parallel. Next slide, please. Just one slide more. Okay, next. The economic development and solution to social problem in Society 5.0. In Society 5.0, new value created through innovation will eliminate regional, age, gender, and language gap and enable the provision of product and services finally tailored to diverse individual needs and latent needs. In this way, it will be possible to achieve a society that can both promote economic development and find solutions to social problems. Achieving such a society, however, will not be without its difficulty, and Japan intends to face them head-on with the aim of being the first in the world as a country facing challenging issues to present a model future society. That means Japan offered this Society 5.0 to all of us to change the world. Okay. Next slide, please. Okay, next slide. Okay, I think next slide, please. Okay, if you see this picture, this very smart society we call Society 5.0, they have a comfortable, high quality life and vitality. Yeah, to achieve that purpose, they provide goods and services that granularly address manifold latent needs without disparity, advanced fusion of cyberspace and physical space, and to balance economic advancement with the resolution of social problem. That's all. Thank you very much. We hope we can, today we come to the webinar with the new idea in the future to make a better world. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for the very, I think it's great presentation of the Society 5.0. This is the high quality lifestyle and vitality, and will be balance the economic advance. And I think this is a very great presentation and connecting with our cutting edge in anti-aging medicine. And Dr. Marhan Arjo is also graduated from the famous Japan University for his PhD. Thank you very much, Dr. Marhan Harjo, PhD, the Dean of the Faculty of Medicine of Bosowa University. And
thank you, Prof. Devi.
Thank you. And if you have any question, all the professor participants, you can write it down, and then we will have discussion in the first session later. All professor and scientists, all the doctors, our next speaker is the president of the WOSIAM, a very good friend of mine from very long time ago, Dr. Claude Dahl. Dr. Claude Dahl will give the presentation about human growth hormone for preventive, regenerative, and anti-aging medicine, or also connecting with the stem cell. But let me give introduction, even though he already very famous. Dr. Dahl is an aesthetic and anti-aging doctor. He has degree in acupuncture, mesotherapy, Ericksonian hypnotherapy, and aesthetic professor and practitioner. Is also speaker in many international conferences, course leader at the Faculty of Medicine in Paris, in Sorbonne University. Moreover, this aesthetic doctor and scientific director of Congress and president of WOSIAM, World Society for Interdisciplinary and Anti-Aging Medicine. And Dr. Claude Dahl, also president of the European Federation for Active Aging, member of the International Hair Research Society, and already write many famous books of anti-aging, The Guide late treatment of anti-age, anti-aging treatments, and product anti-age, skin, and anti-aging. I like to welcome Dr. Claude Dahl, and he also my teacher in the past, and still my teacher. Thank you very much, all the doctor. We welcome Dr. Claude Dahl, President of Bosowa, Paris. Time is for you, Dr. Claude Dahl.
Okay, thank you, dear Debbie. Thank you for your participation. Thank you to organize this big congress. And I hope to see you soon in Paris or in a congress in the world.
Sure.
I think you see my slide. Yeah, you see my slide here?
Right.
Yes. Okay. I will speak today rapidly about anti-aging, some new insight regarding also the COVID-19 and the stem cells, because all these things are totally linked. First, now we speak about the global health. It means that physical, mental, social problems and animal problems are linked in anti-aging for human people. Also, you know that our organs have not the same time for aging. For example, for eyes, it's 40 years, for the brain, it's 70 years, and for the skin is 18, for the lungs is 30, and so on. So this is a very big parameter regarding anti-aging and stem cells. Sorry, I have a problem. Yeah. You know that to increase lifespan, you need many things, and especially education, social, and the income in the society. The income in the family are very important regarding the issue of anti-aging and the lifespan. What happens since the last century? We have fight all the infectious disease, but we have a lot now of autoimmune disease and cancers rising on the world, and particularly viruses. Our genome is the same. We have a lot of vaccination, antibiotics, hygienisms, and this is not sufficient to fight the world, the new world opening to us with a climate changing. You know probably all the viruses, and we have seen soon in this last year, the power of viruses on human health. But what we know now is that herpes viruses, EBV, CMV, and herpes viruses are very important for the future of humanity, particularly if you have replication when you age. And what we know now is that, for example, this kind of herpes viruses, when it's replicating in your body, opens the door for other viruses, other microbes, and particularly the COVID-19. In ICU, 80% of people with COVID-19 had also EBV. So this is remarkable and says to us the big implication of herpes viruses replication in aging to modify our immunity. Perhaps you know the methylation control. In the methylation control, you have two very strong gases, nitric oxide, NO, and H2S. And nitric oxide particularly is able to increase the microcirculation, is a problem with diabetic people and COVID, for example. But nitric oxide is also a strong fighter against viruses and microbes. So people with low nitric oxide, in case of diabetes, of glycation, of microbiota problems, have strong problem with viruses and also with stem cells. To decrease the nitric oxide, insulin resistance, metabolic syndrome, dysbiosis, some SNPs, and diabetes for sure. To increase the nitric oxide, it's estradiol. This hormone is the strongest provider of nitric oxide in our body. And also vagal nerve stimulation, Akkermann cell population in the microbiota, and some mushrooms like Coriolis. But what we know now is that nitric oxide and H2S, these two gases are interdependent and are linked to the microbiota quality. So when you age, when you have not enough estradiol and testosterone, in this case, you have lower level of nitric oxide, H2S, and more risk of infections, and more risk of disimmunity and of less stem cells quality. You remember that we have three destinations for our cells: apoptosis, cancer of senescence. But when you have loss of regenerative capacity, less repair, you have more aging. So this is the problem of stem cells. You should take the stem cells, stimulate the stem cells in your body to improve your health and lifespan and fight your aging. The stem cell exhaustion is one of the strongest problems for human people when we age. And we have many biomarkers to fight and to see this. What's aging? Aging is a complex phenomenon with genomic instability, telomeres attrition, and stem cell exhaustion. Stem cell and cellular senescence, and you know that also stem cells have senescence. Stem cells age as we age in our body. And also the mitochondrial dysfunction and epigenetic alteration. So the methylation is crucial to fight aging, and histone modification also are very important. But what we know is that stem cell exhaustion is one of the culprits of a phenotype when you age. What happens now? You know the phenotype of the human people. This is our phenotype. Everybody has this type of phenotype and this type of evolution. But what we have done since 1 century, we have modified the length of longevity, but not the phenotype. Our phenotype is exactly the same. We cannot fight this for now. And this is one of the problems of human people. So the schematic representation of the pathway that are involved in stem cells, you know, DNA damage, telomere shortening, epigenetic alteration, mitochondrial dysfunction, proteostasis failure, and oxidation. These 5 problems are in stem cells, and we should fight these 5 problems to increase our stem cell population and to decrease the exhaustion. Disease can be diagnosed long before they lead to pain or disability. This is sure. We have the power now to fight this. Health in this century. What can we do? What can we check for people, for our patients? We can check with exposome. You know now that the climate, the pollution is very important, even regarding the COVID or stem cells. Imagine our cognitive health, the blood analysis, the whole genome sequencing is very important for everybody. The cardiac health, the microbiota, the self-measurement with watch, for example, and mental health. We should combine all these things to have a deep phenotyping of everybody and to be able to treat in a better way. Rejuvenation now. We know now how to reprogram ourselves. This is a wonderful discovery of the Japanese team. We have stem cell-based therapies. We know this now, and Dr. Debbie Pratt has a practice of it. And this is a wonderful way to improve aging. Also, the telomeres reactivation, and you know probably that caloric restriction, mTOR inhibition, sirtuin activation, EMPK stimulation are very important. So the stem cell exhaustion is linked to the alteration of intercellular communication. And intercellular communication is linked to neuroendocrine problems and to hormones. So when you add to your stem cells hormones and caloric restriction, you improve your stem cell population and you improve your stem cell treatment. So you know probably that stem cell can do all these wonderful things and regenerate your body. IPS, induced pluripotent stem cells. These kind of cells are so important. And you know that you can regenerate your body totally. Every organ can be regenerated now with stem cells. With Waddington map, probably you know this one. You know that you can have only a fibroblast in your skin, and with it, due to stem cells. This is a wonderful discovery of a Japanese team. The Yamanaka factors, you know, these 4 factors able to transform a fibroblast in stem cells. But also you can add with senolytics, like quercetins, and add with NAD boosters, everolimus low dose, metformin, sirtuin stimulation, caloric restriction. All these things should be combined with stem cell therapy to have a big success. Epigenetic reprogramming of a gene. this is very important. You know, I said it now, and you know that you can take old people and do young people with them. You can associate all these things and fight metabolic imbalance, mitochondrial oxidation, for example, genomic instability, and so on. You know also, I will go fast here, that when you do stem cell therapy, you introduce new cells in the body. This is sure. But we have two problems with this. The first problem is the mitochondria. We know now that the mitochondria is not so good in new stem cells. They can sometimes stay old. And what we can do now is try to improve the mitochondria function in the stem cells. This means very low oxidation. And this is also new therapies like metformin, for example. You know probably that we can reversal aging now, with particularly the thymus, with growth hormone, DHEA, and metformin combined. In this case, you have a full regeneration of your thymus. But we have no function on strength, on cognition, or immunity. We don't know what happens with stem cells for these three things. And also, we don't know what kind of tissue are really regenerated. This is some hidden problems with stem cells now. So take home message, you should have a stem cell intrinsic reprogramming, sure, but also restoration of tissue function by extrinsically action with systemic factors like the diet or some drugs. Now, just rapidly, the stem cells difficulties, stem cells age as we age, and our stem cells have our age. So we should fight the telomeres length and the mitochondria quality to have a good rejuvenation. We should combine all these things. You know probably the 8 essential molecules of metabolisms, and you can see that we use all these things in anti-aging medicine, steroids, NAD booster, methylation detox, urea cycle, and so on. Methylation, you remember, is very important, but it's linked also to your gut, to your food, to some very essential vitamins like B9 and B12. And one of the best markers is homocysteine. Homocysteine is a strong marker of your methylation. You know that the telomeres, when you change the stem cells, when you put stem cells in your body, probably you don't change the DNA of the mitochondria. You change the DNA of the nucleus, but not of the mitochondria. And the mitochondria is also linked to the telomeres function. It is very important to have strong telomeres when you have good stem cells to improve the longevity of your stem cells. Where is the telomeres the most active? In the stem cells. The best function for stem cells is to have a big telomeres activity and long telomeres. So you know that how to decrease telomeres, aging, oxidative stress, cortisol, glycation, shift work, and to increase telomeres, melatonin, sleep, vitamin D, oxytocin, physical exercise, metformin, berberine, the sirtuin stimulation, some plants like astragal and ginkgo biloba, and omega-3. So when you do stem cells, you should do also all these things. Stem cells are not enough. Sorry to be long here.
No, you have time.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Debbie.
Please continue.
Yes, yes.
I miss
Just
your teaching. I study with you since 2003 or 2004.
Thank you. So when you have a disturbed microbiota, you have a shortening of telomeres. This means less functionality of stem cells. This is linked. The microbiota, the telomeres, and the stem cells. So if you take berberine or metformin, you know that one of the main actions of metformin is to balance the microbiota. So you improve the shortening of telomeres and you have better stem cells. So all these things are linked. You cannot separate in your body. You have a whole body. Melatonin also helps with telomeres maintenance. And you know the many roles of melatonin against cancers, for rejuvenation, for detoxification, for sleep quality, for metabolisms. Melatonin is a wonderful hormone, helping the stem cells and helping the telomeres. You know the many roles of metformin and berberine regarding the stem cell exhaustion, regarding the telomeres attrition, the epigenetic alteration, mitochondrial dysfunction, metabolisms. All these things can be improved with metformin low dose and berberine. They are essential molecules in anti-aging actually. The telomeres length is linked to, I think you know, to your body shape index, to your gene regulation, to physical exercise, to your sleep, to your education, to your metformin or berberine. So this is a complex problem. This is a lifestyle problem to have good stem cells. When you dysregulate your central clocks, you open the doors for many diseases, for a lot of diseases when aging. You can have clock dysregulation where you are young, but not when you age. When you age, the lifestyle is so important. And the clock regulation, the central clock regulation is also so important. It means enough sun during the day to stimulate your retina, to stimulate your serotonin and your melatonin. Methylation protects the telomeres. So respect your methylation, please. Respect this chain. And you respect it by the same way your stem cells. Respect your body. You have only one body. You can have many cars, but only one body, okay? So elevated homocysteine alters the methylation of a third of telomeres. This is linked. When you have high homocysteine, it means demethylation, and this means shortening of telomeres. And you see the problem. To increase homocysteine, all these things can increase homocysteine. Less glycation, for example, less homocysteine oxidation, less alteration in antioxidants. To decrease homocysteine, B9, B12, melatonin, vitamin C, vitamin E, glutathione, and acetylcysteine, all these things decrease homocysteine and improve the methylation. Now, meditation and telomeres. When you respect your mental health, when you're calm, when you're clean in your brain, when you do meditation, when you do relaxation, you increase your telomeres length. So you see stem cells, it's a huge problem. And stem cells therapy are the new way to treat in anti-aging. What we know since 20 years, we can include all these things for stem cells therapy. I thank you for your attention, and I wish you a wonderful Congress and a good knowledge. Bye-bye.
Merci.
Hope to see you soon.
Yes, you are on time. Merci beaucoup, Professor Krautdahl. Zebong is a great presentation, and I can see that stem cell is so many research about stem cell, and it's very useful. And also we have to do something for our mitochondria, and I also measure the telomere of my patients because you teach in the anti-aging medicine specialization in Paris. And also we use metformin, DHEA, a human growth hormone, and all combination. Also melatonin, because melatonin becomes serotonin. We will wake up in the morning in the peace.
Very nice. Very nice. I know you. You're a wonderful doctor.
Thank you very much, Professor Dr. Krautdahl, for your time and great presentation. All the doctor, we come to the next speaker, Dr. Ruhi Çakır from Istanbul, Turkey, will give presentation about update ozone for wellness and anti-aging medicine. And let me reintroduce again, Dr. Ruhi Çakır have been to Jakarta, Indonesia, also to teach in many university and center. Dr. Ruhi Çakır, medical doctor, PhD in pediatrics, family medicine, and preventive anti-aging medicine. He also my friend in Dresden International University in Germany. We studied together and we graduated together, 2013, I think. And we studied together also with our Professor Dr. Krautdahl. many years ago. He is the founder of Medi-Ozone clinics in Turkey and Germany. So he worked between Turkey and Germany, and currently lecturing of Ministry of Health ozone certification courses, and author of several books and papers of medical ozone therapy. And Dr. Wichakir is also the board of the World Council of Anti-Aging Medicine in Paris and the board in Istanbul, Turkey. Dr. Wichakir, I give you 15 minutes. Doctor, Professor, we are very lucky to have Dr. Wichakir, please.
Okay, but regarding my presentation, should I do it in share screen or how? I'm not sure.
Share screen, please. Sharon will help you.
Okay, this is my presentation.
Okay.
Okay, my presentation is on my screen, but I don't know how it can be implemented here.
Okay, Sharon will help you while I'll reintroduce you again. Yes, Dr. Claudla asked for permission because, okay, you have, thank you, Dr. Claudla.
Sorry, you can send me some question if you want, okay?
Yes, I will
answer.
Merci beaucoup. Selesai Marigat for Dariga. Merci.
Bye-bye. Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, all Dr. Professor, while we are waiting for Dr. Wichakir. So Dr. Wichakir.
Yes, I'm here, but I need help to upload my PowerPoint presentation.
Okay, you
it's
go
on
to
my desktop.
Yes, you go to the PowerPoint and then you, Sharon will help. Yeah. Have you found your presentation?
It's here. It's on the table. It's here. Indonesia 2021.
Yes, but you have to press the share screen.
Yes, I did. This is.
Okay, you started sharing now. Okay, good.
Okay.
Okay, so press the buttons once more for the presentation.
Okay. So should I continue?
Yes, we can see.
Okay.
We can see now. Please, Dr.
Right.
Wichakir from Istanbul, Turkey.
Okay. Hello, everyone. And I congratulate Debbie and her team for making this wonderful web seminar. So I will just try shortly tell you about ozone therapy in anti-aging medicine. Well, when we live, the life depends on oxidation and antioxidants. Living is just oxidation itself. Every time when we breathe, when our body creates energy, there's an oxidation in our body. Oxidation, in other words, is another form of aging, because more we oxidate our cells and our tissues, they age. Oxidation and aging, in a way, they are going parallel. So if we do something to reverse this oxidation, or if we do something to heal the bad effects of oxidation, in a way, this means that we are doing something for better in anti-aging. Ozone therapy itself, ozone is a 3-atomic oxygen. 3-atomic oxygen, and oxygen is 2 atoms, ozone has 3 atoms. The mix of ozone and oxygen is which we call medical ozone, that we use in medicine as a medical drug to treat many of the diseases. Ozone itself is the 3rd most powerful oxidating agent after fluorine and persulfate. And in ozone therapy, in a way, we give it to the body. So when we give it to body, the body as a counterverse, giving a reaction to protect itself, releasing antioxidant enzymes. So when all those antioxidant enzymes are released, they can heal most of the problems in our body. What just basically, when we give ozone, ozone is formed out of oxygen. When 3 oxygen comes, it becomes a ozone. But to create this form, a serious energy is needed. But when ozone is given to body, this energy is released back into the body. What happens shortly when we give ozone? First of all, the energy of the body increases. Also, metabolism increases. Tissue oxygenation increases, blood circulation increases, and also growth factors released from platelets are increased. Our hero teacher, Professor Valio Bacci, has already shown that in this clinical study, it was more than 10 years ago, what happens when body is ozonated. We know that the platelets release growth factors about 600 times more than original blood. In a way, when blood is ozonated, the platelets in the blood starts to release growth factors. And also, many other studies have shown. So, for example, this is a study that was published in American Anti-Aging Society. I just want to read it to you. Just it's showing what happens. Here in concluding remarks, it says that ongoing research continues to reveal potential applications for ozone therapy in ever more selective and esoteric protocols. There is evidence now that ozone significantly increases levels of interferon, which is that we use also in many virus diseases, which are critical in the maintenance of the immune system, that we use ozone therapy in this COVID and corona cases, and which combat viral infections. There is also evidence that ozone therapy increases production of what is known as tumor necrosis factor, and another element that immune system that attacks tumors. Perhaps most important of all, considering that coronary diseases is currently the leading cause of death in US, ozone therapy in the blood oxidizes arterial plaques that we also we are as old as our arteries, but ozone therapy can clear the arteries. Ozone therapy can clear the plaques in the arteries, which is a key cause of both arteriosclerosis and atherosclerosis. And ozone in this way clears and blockage in the arteries in smaller blood vessels, allowing for even more efficiency in oxygen cells, tissues, which make up the body organs. So when the blood is ozonated, so the blood circulation really gets better. And also, when we provoke the system, the body is releasing antioxidant enzymes that can repair many of the problems. Another clinical study that was published in Anti-Aging, and the potential role of ozone in ameliorating the age-related biochemical changes in male rat cerebral cortex. This was a study, it's not very old, so it was used, it was done in male rats, and it was from Egypt. And so in this study, it's shown that when the male rats are ozonated, many of the aging process in their brains can be reversed, or if it is used in the some rats, their brain doesn't age. And this is another study. This is a quite interesting study, and it was done in also another study. It was in animals, and also in this study that is shown that ozone therapy, ozonated beer was given into some rats. So the rats who consumed ozonated beer, they didn't age, and they got better results that in this study. So ozonated beer can help to prevent aging in the rats. This is another study that also in a nephrotoxicity model. when ozone is used in some animals as a clinical study, and it was compared with anaesthetic and ozone therapy. And when there is a damage,
enlarge the presentation by press the blue buttons below, so it can be bigger.
When damage is created in the kidneys of the animals, and then when ozone or anaesthetic is given, so their nephrotoxicity is analyzed, and it's shown that the physiopathologic mechanisms in acetaminophen-induced nephrotoxicity is complex, but when it is ozonated, when ozone is given to them, the damage in their kidneys can be avoided. So ozone therapy can also avoid many of the toxicities in the body. And also those are new studies. We know that melatonin is, just as Professor Dell talked about, also melatonin is very useful molecule to prevent aging. And it's not just a better sleep quality medication, but also it's a very well-known anti-aging chemical. And we have shown in several studies that when the body is ozonated, the body releases more melatonin and serotonin. And those are some studies regarding melatonin, because melatonin also prevents in liver diseases. This is a study that's published at the university showing that in alcoholic liver diseases, ozone is as effective as at least as melatonin. And this is another study in urology, and some testicular damage is created by bisulfan, which is a chemotherapeutic drug. And when those rats are ozonated, it's shown that they do not get the damage. I mean, that's why, for example, we use ozone therapy in cancer patients. So when the ozone therapy is applied to cancer patients, the side effects of chemotherapeutic drugs can be avoided. And this is just a study is showing that if rats are receiving ozone therapy, they get less damage by the drugs. And also, this is another study in urology, and this is also from Turkey. It was compared melatonin and ozone in the testicular torsion in rats, and it's shown that when ozonated ozone is applied, those animals, even if they were in testicular torsion, they get better results. And shortly, and we only had a short time, I just want to explain that ozone therapy is a very good affecting medical therapy that can avoid aging in the first step, and in the second step, it can reverse aging. When ozone therapy is done, many of the diseases can be avoided or they can be reversed. So I don't know, I think I'm good with the time. So I want to thank all for regarding this.
Okay, you are right on time, Dr. Ruhi Chakir. A very good presentation. Dr. Ruhi, our Board of World Council of Preventive Medicine, and also one of the lecturer for the EFRE International University for Anti-Aging Medicine, together with Professor Claude Dahl, Professor Ruhi. Thank you very much. And we can see here how useful the ozone therapy, and I already take the course also from Dr. Ruhi Chakir.
Thank you.
In Istanbul and also in Germany. Thank you very much, Dr. Ruhi Chakir. And if the participant have question, you can write it down in the chat and we will answer the question later. Thanks again, Dr. Ruhi Chakir. All the doctors, professor, we move to our next program. Actually, it's from Professor Dr. Jaime Rodriguez Quintos and Professor Dr. Raul Moya, would like to introduce the master program, Continuing Education of Preventive, Regenerative and Anti-Aging Medicine and Stem Cell Update Master Program in EFRE International University, Barcelona and Belize, joined with World Council of Preventive and Anti-Aging Medicine, which is I'm the master of the program, director program of Barcelona International University, and we'll open the next master class on January again. So maybe we can work together, Dr. Marhen Harjo, with the doctors in the Bosowa University and also the doctor from Police Hospital in Indonesia. They also will send some students. So we open to collaborate with many universities in Indonesia. Thank you very much, Dr. Rui Jakir. Because the Professor Dr. Raul is still on the flight in aeroplane and will arrive in 2 hours. So I will help to explain the program later. We move to our next speaker, Dr. Ignacio Sapupo, the World Council Preventive Medicine Board of Italy. I will introduce Dr. Ignacio Sapupo. Dr. Ignacio Sapupo is from Italy, and he practiced anti-aging medicine in Bolzano Geriatric Care and Rehabilitation Clinic and performed anti-aging aesthetic medicine at the Poliambulatorio Specialistico in Verona and Renaissance Luxury Medical Center in Giva, Verbania, and given many lectures in international conference in anti-aging medicine and postgraduate course of dermatologic laser surgery at Università Cattolica del Sacro Cuore of Rome in 2008, and also postgraduate course in disaster medicine at Università di Pizzanel in 1998. So I give the time for Professor Dr. Ignacio from Italy. It's 10 minutes presentation. It's a recording presentation because he's now on the top of the mountain, which is the Wi-Fi not so good. Are you here, Dr. Ignacio? But he already prepared the presentation. And the presentation from Dr. Ignacio is about the importance of microbiota in human gut for anti-aging therapy. As we already
Good morning. I am Dr. Ignacio Sapupo, board member of World Council of Anti-Aging and Preventive Medicine Italy. Congratulations to our President of the World Council of Anti-Aging and Preventive Medicine in Paris, Professor Debbie Vinsky, to the President and the Dean of Faculty of Medicine of University of Bosowa for this important international webinar. I believe in the potential of anti-aging and integrative medicine, and I hope that they can spread through the world. I also highlight the importance that microbiota has in human health and disease, according to new discoveries. In my opinion, a balanced bacterial flora in the gut and a periodic detox could allow us an healthy aging. In conclusion, we cannot avoid the exposure to risk factor, the modern concept of exposome, but we could implement anti-aging practices and improve regenerative medicine procedures with stem cells in order to repair the damage. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ignacio, because I said 10 to 15 minutes, but it is 5 minutes actually. And we can see why microbiota is very important, as explained by Dr. Krautdahl before. Our gut is our second brain. That's why it's very important for our health. And thank you very much, Dr. Ignacio. I think the Wi-Fi in the mountain in Italy is not so good. So I like to move to our next speaker, because this is the end of our session. Dr. Sonia Rahbani is our next speaker. Dr. Sonia Rahbani will give presentation about update about vitamin D3 for wellness and anti-aging medicine. And get ready, Dr. Hunter. Yes. And we get ready for Dr. Hunter. The different time of all the part in the world is make the, I have to check my speaker before. And Dr. Sonia Rahbani is the owner of Derma Pro Lebanon and also the treasurer of the World Council of Anti-Aging Medicine. Dr. Sonia Rahbani is a seasoned pharmacist, also an anti-aging doctor, an avid entrepreneur. She's the founder and general manager of Rahbani Pharmacy, Rahbani Laser Clinics, and Derma Pro Anti-Aging Center in Lebanon. She received her PharmD from St. Joseph University, Lebanon, and PhD in anti-aging medicine. She graduated PhD 1 year after me in the St. Petersburg Institute of Bioregulation and Gerontology, St. Petersburg, under direction of Professor Vladimir Kavinson. We have the same professor in Russia. And Dr. Rahbani currently sitting at the board of director of the World Council in Paris, dedicated to the advancement and combination of preventive, regenerative, and anti-aging medicine into one integrated clinical and holistic approaches. Under Dr. Rahbani leadership, Rahbani Pharmacy became very famous and one of the biggest anti-aging clinic in Lebanon. And to ensure customer satisfaction, he do many research around the world and also speak in the many congress. And we cannot contact yet the Wi-Fi, I think, with Dr. Sonia Rahbani. I like to check the next speaker is ready. Dr. Puntal or Dr. Ibrahim Al-Askar. Otherwise, I will end up the first session, 5 minutes for 10 minutes for discussion. Dr. Huntal Napoleon, are you with us? Ada ya? Okay. And get ready, Dr. Ibrahim Al-Askar. I like to give the time for Dr. Huntal, and I will read the CV of Dr. Huntal. Yeah. Okay. Is it Dr. Huntal? No. Dr. Ibrahim. Dr. Ibrahim Al-Askar. Okay, let me read the CV while the staff contacting Dr. Ibrahim. Video. Okay. So while Dr. Huntal Napoleon make the preparation for the screen, I will call Dr. Ibrahim Al-Askar. Dr. Ibrahim Al-Askar has the patent.
Nanti.
Oh, okay. I welcome Dr. Huntal Napoleon. Let me read this CV of Dr. Huntal Napoleon, specialist plastic surgery and reconstructive aesthetic surgeon, head of medical staff of Group Plastic Reconstructive Aesthetic Surgeon, Dr. Huntal Napoleon Simamora. Education General Practitioner in 11 Mart University Medical Faculty in Solo, Indonesia. Plastic Surgery from University of Indonesia Medical Faculty, Jakarta. And Burn and Wound Consultant. He practiced in Indonesian Police Central Hospital, Jakarta, one of our partner in Celtec, and in Medical Service Director in Celtec and Tissue and a beautiful aesthetic. The organization activity is Indonesia Association of Plastic, Reconstructive and Aesthetic Surgeons, INAPAS, National Board Committee in 2018 to 2021, Indonesian Medical Association National Board, Indonesian Medical Association of Jakarta Province, Indonesian Association of Primary Medical Clinic is Jakarta branch, and Indonesian Association of Tissue Engineering and Cell Therapy, Rejasilenda, and International Society of Aesthetic Plastic Surgery, ISAPS, as active member, and Smile Train Foundation and Social Service Clip Up Free Surgery. Today, Dr. Huntal Napoleon, as our famous doctor, as our medical services director in Filmsky Regenerative Center and Celtec Stem Cell Technology. He will give presentation about the stem cell. Then many people confuse what is secretum, what is stem cell. So today, I think many professor and doctor understand here, but I think many people new in the field of anti-aging medicine. We are very lucky to have Dr. Huntal Napoleon. The title of the presentation is Understanding Stem Cell, Secretum, and the Exosome. We give you 15 to 20 minutes. Welcome, Dr. Huntal Napoleon.
Thank you, Professor Devi. Hello, good afternoon. Healthy greetings to all participants and speaker. Introduce myself, Huntal Napoleon, plastic surgeon from Jakarta, Indonesia, also from Celltech Indonesia, Stem Cell Laboratory and Tissue Bank. My topic now is about, I want to share screen. I'd like to share screen. Can you see my
Yes, I can see your screen.
presentation? Okay, thank you.
Bigger, enlarge the screen.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
The topic is about understanding of mesenchymal stem cell and secretome. The first slide about mesenchymal stem cell. As we all know, in the 1960s, Frankenstein identified a population of fibroblasts-like cells that form clonal colonies in vitro. Frankenstein observation allowed for the discovery of the specific type of cells currently referred to as mesenchymal stem cell. Mesenchymal stem cells are primary, non-specialized, non-hematopoietic plastic adherent cells with great proliferation potential and the capacity for self-renewal and differentiation. The fact that mesenchymal stem cell can be isolated from numerous sources their relative ease to culture in vitro, their ability to differentiate into several different cell types, and their special immunological properties makes mesenchymal stem cell is a promising tool for cell therapy and tissue regeneration. The best known and the most commonly used source of the mesenchymal stem cells is the bone marrow and the adipose tissue, like in this picture. And also another easily accessible source of mesenchymal stem cells include birth-associated tissues that are treated as a medical waste, such as placenta, umbilical cord.
Press the next slide because we only see the first slide.
Yes.
Okay.
Still the first slide.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
right.
umbilical cord, native and amniotic membrane.
Please continue.
Okay, this is the next slide.
Okay.
The mesenchymal stem cell properties is about chemokines, growth factors, and also the receptors, adhesion molecules, and metalloproteinase and migration process. It is generally accepted that mesenchymal stem cells do not display the immunogenic properties, so they can be transplanted to an allogenic host without need for immunosuppression. The mechanism of their action is based on their immunomodulatory properties as well as immunosuppressive activity. They are able to suppress proliferation and activation of different cells of the immune system. What is the mesenchymal stem cell mode of action? The mesenchymal stem cells working as attracted to the inflammation site, interact, make immune cells and cytokine propulsive, and there is a produce of the pro-inflammatory and become the anti-inflammatory, communicate with injured cells, and mesenchymal stem cells secrete trophic factors and make a tissue repair. Differentiation capacity to replace the damaged cells, and also mesenchymal stem cells prevent and modulate severe inflammatory reaction and promote the tissue repair. In order to harmonize what the fundamental characteristic of mesenchymal stem cells, the International Society for Cellular Therapy proposed 3 minimal criteria for culture human mesenchymal stem cell definition. Must be plastic adherent, must have 3 lineage differentiation potential in vitro into osteoblasts, adipocyte, and chondroblasts, and also must be positive more than 95% and negative less than 2% for a panel of cell surface antigens. This is about secretome. Mesenchymal stem cell condition media, or we call secretomes. Despite the fact that the homeostatic and immunomodulatory activity of mesenchymal stem cell were thought to be reliant of the mesenchymal stem cell number, it has been seen that it depends more on the paracrine factors these cells secrete, also known as secretome, which is produced once mesenchymal stem cells are activated. Therefore, in response to environmental cues of the injury site, mesenchymal stem cells are activated and secrete various cytoprotective paracrine factors to enhance regeneration on the damaged tissue. Factors produced by mesenchymal stem cell include growth factors, like we see, growth factors and many cytokine, and tumor necrosis factor inducible gene 6 protein, vascular endothelial growth factors, BFGF, insulin-like growth factors, chemokine, epidermal growth factor, platelet-derived growth factor, and also interleukin-6, TGF-beta, and prostaglandin. Together, these secret factors may inhibit inflammatory responses, trigger angiogenic process, promote endothelial and fibroblast activities, and facilitate this proliferation and differentiation of progenitor cells into tissue into tissue in situ. We can see the cell differentiation to be astrocyte, adipocyte, chondrocyte, myocyte, astrocyte, muscle, and endothelia. Converse in the scientific community is being performed. We can see the preclinical study about the secretome and on the cerebro-neurosystem disorder and also liver disease, neuronal glial cells and cardiomyocytes. And the mesenchymal stem cells is performed on the laboratory on the good manufacturing product process and by the proteomic analysis, and also they're coming out the microvesicles exosomes, and on the GMP conditions we do the production, isolation, and bioprocessing. Many questions about the secretome is about time of collection, storage condition, half-life time, human dosage delivery by IV injection or encapsulation, and how about the purification method by the ultrafiltration or lipofiltration, or the platform of production and preconditioning. As we can see, the secretome produced by the preconditioning, the choice is with the growth factors or cytokines, biomaterial, or with the oxygen tension.
Dr. Huntal, I think
yes.
we move to the other slide. This is still the first slide.
Oh, still the first slide? Oh, yes. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm already.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
No, the first slide. Nah, orang tidak familiar semua.
It's okay. You can continue. You can start from before. It's all right. We don't know the difference.
Oh, sorry. Maybe the committee can help me to make a slide.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll try to help.
From Sharon, I already give to Sharon. In the slide of 7.
Slide 7. Okay, Sharon will help.
7.
Right. Wait a moment.
Maybe Sharon can help.
Yes. She is helping you right now, Dr. Huntal. Please, maybe we can show from the beginning first, because we remember what you say, but we missed the picture. Okay, and then this is the first one. Next, we like to see the second one. Okay, wait.
I'm sorry for the trouble.
It's okay. Okay, the next slide. Yes, this is the
First slide.
Yes, next slide. So because people really want to know, because we heard a lot about the secretome and we heard about mesenchymal stem cell, and I think today all the doctors around the world want to know the difference exactly. Okay.
This is the property of mesenchymal stem cells.
Okay.
And this is the action of the mesenchymal stem cells, like presentation before. And this is the secretome production. The component of the mesenchymal stem cell, like cytokine and growth factors, and also there is exosome and microvesicles.
So mesenchymal stem cell is the complete one, yeah?
Yes. And this is the produce of the secretome that already mentioned before, that must use on the good manufacturing product condition, because the secretome is produced just after the culture of the mesenchymal stem cells. The production, isolation, and bioprocessing by the good manufacturing product in the laboratory. And many questions about the secretome. And this is the exosome. Exosome is mesenchymal stem cell derived extracellular vesicles. In addition to secreted factors, the paracrine protective mechanism of mesenchymal stem cells include the production of extracellular vesicles, which include exosomes, like we see on the picture. It has been shown that the extracellular vesicles from mesenchymal stem cell contain vesicular cargo molecules that include messenger RNA, transfer RNA, and microRNA, and peptides and proteins. In addition, the extracellular vesicles enclose lipids, which are able to mediate cell-to-cell communication and can exert therapeutic effect on various tissue injuries via attenuation of immune cell activation by ameliorating oxidative stress or by decreasing apoptosis. Therefore, exosomes are considered to play a major role in the communication between mesenchymal stem cell and surrounding cells. For example, it has been shown that during in vitro culture with peripheral blood mononuclear cells, mesenchymal stem cell derived exosome extracted from bone marrow are able to suppress the secretion of the pro-inflammatory factors like TNF-alpha and interleukin-1 beta, while increase the concentration of anti-inflammatory factors. Next slide, please. This is the potential side effect of secretome. Although there are limited reports of the negative effect of secretome, there are always potential risks using exogenous biological molecules. Although these risks are reduced when compared to cell-based therapies. A comprehensive analysis is needed before mesenchymal stem cell secretome transplantation to specific niches in different tissues. For example, secretome contains mesenchymal stem cell derived exosome and extracellular vesicles that can be immunogenic. However, the immunogenicity of exosome has been shown to be less than their parent. On the other hand, immunosuppressive properties of mesenchymal stem cell secretome have been reported in several studies and have been hypothesized to be one of the main mechanism of action of mesenchymal stem cell secretome when treating autoimmune disease. However, the use of secretome may diminish the immune system, which may increase the risk of infection, immunodeficiency, and tumor growth in treated patients. Thus, an optimal amount of the secretome should be clearly defined with an aim to find the right balance between safety and effectiveness of any secretome-based therapy. Slide. The development of the large-scale good manufacturing product secretome-based product is required in the licensed stem cell laboratory. This is a must procedure, and stem cells are undoubtedly a great hope for the treatment of many diseases. Since they occur in many adult tissue and do not raise ethical issues, they have great advantage over embryogenic stem cells due to their unique features such as their ease of isolation and culture, availability in many tissues, their immunomodulatory properties, and the lack of ethical problems resulting from their use. We believe that they can be used in both autologous and allogenic transplantation. Thank you. Thank you very much, Prof. Debbie.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Hunta. Napoleon is a great presentation.
Gladi resik ya, Dok.
Hello, yes. So that's mohon di mute ya. Thank you very much, Dr. Hunta. Napoleon is a great presentation about the difference between the secretome and mesenchymal stem cell and the exosome. So I can say if mesenchymal stem cell is like the Rolls Royce.
Yes.
If that's the car, we can say it is the Rolls Royce, the Mercedes, and the secretome is another small car. Okay. Okay. This is the summary, but we can ask a question in the discussion later. And if you agree, Dr. Marhain, the Dean, we will close the first session with 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes maximum rest, 5 minutes to 10 minutes, and I will be back to you as a moderator again. So I give time for people to write their question, to have a chat, to know each other. Thank you again of a good presentation of Dr. Hunter Napoleon. And I'd like to see you again on the discussion later. We will have 3 speakers, Dr. Jana Janovska, but the first is Dr. Ibrahim, Dr. Henry Suendra, Ibrahim El Askar, and Dr. Jana Janovska. I will be back in 5 minutes from now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Debbie. Probably some participants have already write the the question in the chat room.
And this international seminar today will have the SKP, the credits from Indonesian Medical Association, and also we'll have certificate from the World Council of Preventive Medicine in Paris, and of course our famous Bosowa University and Medicine faculty. Thank you, the Dean, Dr. Marhen Harjo. And as I see this, the presentation today, a very good collaboration, and I can see in the era of 5.0, it's very important to spread the knowledge and this anti-aging medicine. And as we can see, stem cell, many research is going on in the world, but some center in the world, either in the United States of America, in Germany, or in Switzerland. My father-in-law in I think around 1970s already the patient of the stem cell, and mother-in-law just passed away 101 years old. We do the stem cell in Switzerland for her 15 years ago. So it's not single bullet, but as you can see, we have to know the center of the stem cell. We have permit from the government according to the law. And all that question you can ask later to the expert like Dr. Marhen Harjo from Bosowa University and also University of Hasanuddin, and also a consultant, Dr. Hunter Napoleon. So I'll see you all in 4 minutes, yeah? I'll say bye-bye and we can write the question. The other can go to the restroom. The other can create or have a drink, please. You have to have 30 cc per day. And getting ready for us after this is Dr. Charles, Dr. Henry Suendra, Dr. Ibrahim El Askar, and Dr. Jana Janovska from Latvia. I'll see you. Thank you.
I think if you have a question, you can write on in the chat room, and later Prof. Devi will ask the presenter about your question. Okay, one question from Rais Reskiawan in Europe, in UK, to Dr. Ruhi. As the ozone is a quite harmful compound, is there any solid clinical proof to use this for anti-aging? And one question to Dr. Claude Dale. How can we prevent the high telomerase activity with cancer? Is the stem cell safe for cancer patient? Thank you. Again, to Dr. Claude, is there a significant difference regarding patient after COVID in the administration of anti-aging treatment? Okay, and to Dr. Ruhi and Dr. Claude, this question, there are 2 questions together. Is it possible for ozone and stem cell therapy to be used simultaneously for anti-aging medicine? If yes, will there be any side effect of it? And the second, at what condition do we have to choose whether to use Yoson or stem cell therapy? Okay, we will invite Prof. Debbie probably to fill up the room. I invite Dr. Claude Dahle to answer question in the chat room. Dr. Claude Dahle, are you still here?
Wow, Dr. Marhan, you fired me as a moderator. Now you're moderator.
Just okay.
Well,
I think
open my
it's
talk.
better because the time up.
No, because actually we will finish shorter than the time. Because yes, because huh? Okay, so thank you very much. They didn't helping me to become the moderator. I really appreciate it. But I asked permission, and Dr. Claude Dahl already asked the permission.
I see.
Before, yeah, so he is very kind as to all of you to write the question, and I will pass it if you have your WhatsApp number or your telephone number or email, and we will answer the question
By email.
Yes, by email. He apologized, but he cannot reject when I'm asking him to give the presentation today. I'd like to congratulate again to Bosowa University.
Thank you so much.
Yes, this is it's very exciting for me because usual many friends from Indonesia, also Indonesian Medical Association, always ask me when you like to speak in Indonesia. But since 2006, I already speak around the world. But not many people invite me in Indonesia. So many times I speak in Paris, Monte Carlo, and many other countries. And hopefully one day Unibos will invite me. Yes, University of Hasanuddin invite me, many universities actually. But during the pandemic, we don't see each other. And I hope all the participants, all the doctor and professor have something very useful, some take-home message, very important take-home message. And I also wish many doctors want to study anti-aging medicine. There is an anti-aging medicine program, master program I can introduce. There is a question also to my WhatsApp. So shy to asking here. They ask is, how about the master program? Because we like to introduce the master program of the EFRA International University in Barcelona. And there is also a program in the Dresden International University. But I think last year they closed the international program. So now they only open in Deutsch, yeah, in German language. So they closed that, but in EFRA International University, we still open for international students, and it's very lucky because now all in English and it's sandwich program. So the part it will be online, and when examination for a thesis presentation, it will be in Barcelona, Spain. So that's what the plan, which is Professor Raul still on the plane, just on time, and she cannot change his ticket. So we cannot meet him now. If you allow me, I will put the the film about Bosowa.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, just a moment, please.
Fakultas Kedokteran Universitas Bosowa. Fakultas Kedokteran Universitas Bosowa diresmikan langsung oleh Rektor Universitas Bosowa bersama Wakil Presiden Republik Indonesia periode ke-12, Dr. Letrandus Haji Muhammad Yusuf Kalla, yang disaksikan oleh Gubernur Sulawesi Selatan periode ke-7, Dr. Syahrul Yassin Limpo SHMH. Disaksikan founder Bosowa, Bapak HM Aksa Mahmud, dan Ketua Yayasan Aksa Mahmud oleh Ibu Belinda Aksa. Saat ini Fakultas Kedokteran Universitas Bosowa memiliki gedung 3 lantai yang dilengkapi dengan berbagai sarana dan prasarana, seperti ruang kelas yang memadai untuk perkuliahan, ruang laboratorium komputer yang digunakan untuk kegiatan CBT atau Computer Based Test, ruang rapat dosen, ruang ujian seminar yang seluruhnya terletak di lantai 3. Terdapat ruang CSL atau Clinical Skill Lab, ruang PBL atau Problem Based Learning, ruang dosen, kantor tata usaha, dan ruang dekanat yang terletak di lantai 2. Bosowa juga memiliki laboratorium basah.
Assalamualaikum Pak Dekan. Good afternoon.
Yeah.
Halo Pak Dekan.
Ya Pak.
Stop ya. Kenapa lagi treble ya? Error.
Dia ini mau kasih lihat anunya apa video video company.
Here to make an impact in the world. Hundreds of millions of mesenchymal stem cells at a time. Using quantum closed system, the latest and safest in stem cell technology in the world. We are the only stem cell center that is accredited by the World Council of Preventive Medicine and recognized by 74 countries in the world. We're also approved by the Indonesian Ministry of Health and the Indonesian FDA. Using digital technology, stem cell numbers and quality are determined more accurately. Yes, we don't compromise quality. This is revolutionary. Quantum stem cell using closed system, which can proliferate stem cells 100 to 300 times faster than conventional methods.
Dear Professor, doctors, and all the scientists, welcome again of our international seminar on the 35th anniversary of Bosowa University. We welcome you again, and we will move to our second session. The second session, the future healthness role of vitamin D, surgery and stem cell in medical pathway. Our next speaker is Dr. Henry Suhendra. Dr. Henry Suhendra will give the presentation about the vitamin D. Dr. Henry Suhendra will give presentation about update vitamin D for the wellness anti-aging medicine. Dr. Henry is an orthopedic doctor, very famous. I think everybody knows with his YouTube channel. He became one of the Telegram, and currently he practices at Siloam Hospital, Kebonjeruk, Jakarta, Indonesia, and he assists with general bone consultation services. Dr. Henry Suhendra, specialist of orthopedic, graduated from the specialist doctor of orthopedics and traumatology at Erlangga University. He is a member of Indonesian Doctor Association, Indonesian Orthopedic and Traumatology Specialist Doctor Association, Indonesian Orthopedic Society for Sport Medicine and Arthroscopy, IOSMA, and he also the board of World Council in Indonesia. I'd like to welcome this very famous doctor, specialist orthopedic, Dr. Henry Suhendra. Please welcome, and I give you 15 minutes.
Well, thank you very much, Prof. Debbie, and all the participants. Of course, I'm very glad that I've been invited to this webinar. But first of all, of course, I would like to congratulate our friend, Dr. Marhain Harjo, on the anniversary of Bosowa University. And after all, I have to make it clear that I'm very proud of this university because I'm also from that part of Sulawesi. I was born in Makassar.
Me too.
So, so very proud to have another medical faculty besides Hasanuddin, of course. All right. Unfortunately, I would say that I'm not as expert as other speakers today. That's why I don't have time to prepare any slides. Hopefully, I will not make you bored to death listening to my talk. Well, I will make it very concise and short. Well, this is about vitamin D. You know, the reason why we still talk about vitamin D is because there are a lot of even medical communities that don't really trust in the potential of vitamin D. So I guess that's the reason why we have Vitamin D Society Indonesia. Okay, let's start. Let's roll. See, the pandemic of coronavirus stirred a huge interest in vitamin D by the public as well as by researchers around the world. The big question everyone asks, is there any scientific evidence that vitamin D may prevent as well as treat COVID-19? I know this is about anti-aging, but we get the reputation, good reputation on vitamin D because of this COVID-19. So this is kind of a blessing in disguise, I should say. But when we talk about vitamin D, of course, we always mention COVID-19. Well, the simple answer to that question is yes, of course, but only if the dose is correct in order to achieve optimal blood level. See, unfortunately, I should say the press provides a lot of misinformation about the dose of vitamin D for COVID-19 and its unsubstantiated toxicity. So I would say, let's go back a little bit down history lane. I'm an orthopedic surgeon. How come I talk about vitamin D then? Well, it all started with rickets, in early 1800 something. There was this disease called rickets, a serious disease related to vitamin D deficiency. We all know that when children are vitamin D deficient, their bones do not absorb calcium well, and resulting in soft, weak, deformed bones, and this condition is called rickets. This condition in adults is called osteomalacia. Well, my personal trip to vitamin D, I should say, started quite a long time ago when I was in medical school still. In 1992, I began looking and studying about vitamin D. And in 2019, Vitamin D Society Indonesia was founded by myself and several other knowledgeable doctors friends, some in Surabaya, some in Jakarta. Yes. Well, convincing new studies on vitamin D shows undeniably truth about the power of vitamin D, and indeed it improves human health and longevity. That's how we come to this webinar, I should say, because it's all about anti-aging medicine to increase your lifespan and so on. Well, study shows that vitamin D deficiency is now connected with 17 varieties of cancer, along with heart disease, high blood pressure, strokes, autoimmune diseases, diabetes, chronic unexplainable pain, osteoporosis, fungal, bacterial, and viral infection. These research studies have shown that there is a strong relationship between vitamin D and these diseases. And now the studies are also shifting to more comprehensive so-called randomized controlled trials, RCT, which is the gold standard of medical studies. And I predict that this will transform the way medicine is practiced in the future. Well, I think that's the core of my talk today. Hopefully, I can brief some of you, but actually, I would like to explain that the purpose of establishing Vitamin D Society Indonesia is to spread the knowledge on vitamin D in order to get our people healthier in every sense. Because according to the report of WHO in 2020, the average blood level of vitamin D of our population was only 17.2 nanogram per milliliter. And our average is the least among Southeast Asian countries. Well, that concludes my talk. Thank you very much, Prof. Debbie.
Thank you very much, Dr. Henry Swendra, Specialist Orthopedic and President, Chairman of Vitamin D Society in Indonesia, and also member of the Vitamin D Society in the USA. And I think this is very important. I think all the doctors here must aware that the level of vitamin D in our patient, I also check for anti-aging patient because of Dr. Henry. I start to check all my patients, and surprisingly, they all almost 90% all below 20. Yes, as you said, 17 in average.
Yeah.
And after we give the therapy of the vitamin D, vitamin D is like 20, and the highest I found is like 30 nanogram per deciliter. Yes. And give the vitamin D injection first, 100,000, 200,000 units. And then maintenance with the vitamin D with K2.
Yes.
Like you advise.
Very, very, very important to get K2 as well.
Yes. And the level, when the level reach 70, 80 nanogram to 100, they change amazingly in their health.
Yes.
They're able to walk again.
Exactly.
And their muscle getting strong.
Yes.
And even surprised. Actually, I like Dr. Sonia Rahbani from Lebanon to give presentation because she make research in Dresden International University for her thesis about vitamin D, and she agree with you about the level around 100 nanogram per deciliter.
Yes.
I think many doctors in Indonesia
are very afraid. They're still very afraid. Yes, they always talk about toxicity.
but actually it's not true because many laboratories in the world already changed the criteria. So the toxics come to above 150 nanogram per deciliter, I think.
But I think, Prof. Debbie, I think it's worth mentioning here.
Yes.
I met a senior doctor. He is 71 years old. He is used to be a cardiac surgeon, but since he is now 71, he is retired. Now he is putting his work into supplement and vitamin. And he explained how he keeps his health in good condition because he advises when he has flu or probably coming down with viral infection, his advice, his name is Dr. Stephen Gundry from Nebraska, USA. Yeah. His advice was a bit surprising to me because he advised to take 150,000 IU of vitamin D3 per oral, for 3 days. For 3 days. And he said jokingly that I've been doing this for the last 30 years and I'm still alive and well. I'm not dead yet.
Yes.
And so far, so good.
Well, I think we can practice that. And many patients, when their level is below 50, they are very weak and they have many bones problem. And I heard many centers in the world, they also use for the cancer patient to increase the quality of life.
Yes,
So
yes,
we
indeed.
should open our mind, all the scientists around the world, especially in Indonesia.
Yes.
Many research already happened in the world.
Yeah.
And if you have time, you make the new one. If you don't have time, you learn from research which is already exists in the world.
Yeah. I'm hoping to get some financial aid to conduct my own study.
Oh, okay. I hope many government officers from Ministry of Health see the Dr. Henry's wish.
Yeah.
I hope your wish come true.
Yes, amen to that.
Yes, thank you very much, Dr. Henry Tuendra. I think it's a great presentation. But if anybody here asking for a scholarship for a Master of Anti-Aging, yes, we can give from Efre International University. And also like to join research about the stem cells. Celtic Stem Cell Center already will facilitating for that. Not yet about vitamin D, but hopefully in the future.
Hopefully.
The president, the chairman of Vitamin D Society of Indonesia, the famous YouTuber, Dr. Henry Tuendra, specialist orthopedic. Thank you very much, Doctor.
Thank you very much.
For the presentation. All scientists, professors, and doctors, we come to the next speaker. I think it's very interesting what Dr. Henry, many questions come now. And the next speaker is Dr. Ibrahim El Askar. He sent his presentation. As we know, in many parts of Europe and many countries, holiday time. So everybody's on the plane, on the mountain. Now the presentation of Dr. Ibrahim El Askar. Sharon will help me to share the screen of his presentation. Dr. Ibrahim El Askar is a plastic surgeon, and the topic of Dr. Ibrahim is fat grafting, nanofat, and fat
Hello.
stem cell.
I will speak in this webinar about fat graft, nanofat, fat-enriched stem cell. So, it's all the techniques that contain stem cell to improve the aging skin. Our aim is to replace pathologic skin by another one, a younger one healthier. Like procedure. So we can do fat graft, we can do nanofat, we can do adipose-derived stem cells, and we can do fat-enriched stem cells. So what is fat graft? We take the fat from your body and we inject them in your face or where you desire to improve the skin. It contains stem cells and fat graft. As we see, we can do it everywhere and especially around eyes to improve the quality of your eyes. It's a very important procedure for rejuvenation. Nanofat, we take the fat and we crush it so we can have non-viable cells, so no viable adipocyte. We can have fragments of adipose-derived stem cells and regenerative cells, stroma vascular fraction, and CD34 subfraction. So the nanofat had a very long-lasting effect, completely natural material, and improves the skin where we inject it. And we can do it under local anesthesia. So we crush the fat and we inject it where we desire. CERN is adipose-derived stem cells, so it's the stroma vascular fraction. So we take the fat and we put it in the machine, and we take a 5 cc of vascular fraction that contains stem cells, and we improve the area where we inject. The fourth one is the fat-enriched stem cell. So we take the fat, we mix it with adipose-derived stem cells, so we can improve the quality of your contents and we enhance the number of stem cells. Where we can use everywhere, we can use this injection to your face. As you see here, you see the quality of the skin everywhere, around eyes, the cheeks. Wow. Very important. You see, what we inject is fat-enriched stem cells. So we add stem cell to your fat, and you see the eyes. The eyes, the first sign of aging. So it's important to have a healthy eyes. So if you see before and after, you see the quality of the skin around eyes, you have a younger face and healthier skin. Also the same. Also the same. I pass quickly. So here you see we do operation. So I did blepharon and fat-enriched stem cell or fat, and you see the improvement of the quality of the skin. You can use the mid-face, for the scars, for the nose, and for the nose, you see this defect after corticoid injection, and you see after. So all the pathologies, the scars of the face, we can improve them by using fat or fat-enriched stem cell, or all the techniques that contain stem cells. Also the same lower face, the lips, jaw lines, the scars, very important. For the scars, we can use nano-fat if we don't need volume. If we need a little volume, we can use fat or fat-enriched stem cells. For the scars, for the body, for the breast, for the buttocks, a very good result. To reshape the contour of the body, for the tails. So she have a complex that they are very thin. So we put fat and we have a very improvement of her leg. So what is the good procedure? What is good to do? Fat graft, fat-enriched stem cell, SVF, or nano-fat. All these techniques are good. But when we do this one, for stretch mark, adipose-derived stem cells is a very good method, but we have to do it several times, sorry, to get an improvement. For dark eyes also. For wrinkles around eyes, the best is to do fat-enriched stem cells. For the scars, if you need volume, you do fat-enriched stem cells. Stretch mark, scars. So, in conclusion, when I use this method and when I use this one, the use of fat graft and nano-fat with or without adipose-derived stem cells provides great results in aesthetic, rejuvenation, and regenerative procedure. So, if I need volume and improvement of the skin, I put fat or fat-enriched stem cell is better because I enhance the number of stem cells. If I don't need volume, I can't use adipose-derived stem cells or SVF. So it improves the skin, stretch mark, or the scars or acne scar, but I have to use them several times. If I don't need volume and I need little improvement of the skin and the budget is not high, I can use nano fat because it contains fragments of stem cells. So all these methods are good. You have to choose the good indication to have the good result. Always the use of stem cells or adipose-derived stem cell improve the quality of the skin and improve our aging procedure. So there is an enormous amount of promises with stem cells in plastic and reconstructive surgery, which need years to be scientifically proven. So for health, the big question, will stem cell therapeutics augment and enhance the current level of care we can offer to patients? Will it be cost effective? It's a big question to ask for doctors who work in this field. Thank you and have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Ibrahim El Askar, for the good presentation. And Dr. Ibrahim El Askar also have inventor of Askar bone injector and Askar tip graft in open rhinoplasty, and we can see how stem cell, either from adipose or mesenchymal stem cells, can increase the rejuvenation after the fat grafting or during the fat grafting process of the patient. Thank you again for Dr. Ibrahim El Askar, our WASPM board from Beirut, Lebanon. All professors and doctors, we come to our next speaker, Dr. Charles Siagian. And Dr. Charles Siagian, specialist orthopedic, Alpha K, will speak. He is a spinal specialist of Siloam Hospital. Hello, Dr. Charles.
Hello, Professor.
Our famous doctor from Indonesia. The topic will be about mesenchymal stem cell for the degenerative spine disease. Let me read the CV. Dr. Charles Siagian is a police. Graduate from University of Indonesia Spine Fellowship Program in Jakarta 2018, and from Changnam National University Hospital Traveling Fellowship Daejeon, South Korea in 2018, and graduate from University of Indonesia Orthopedic and Traumatology Specialist Program in Jakarta 2014, Police Academy from Semarang 2006, and graduate from Faculty of Medicine in Bandung University of Pajajaran 2005. Oh, you look younger than your age, doctor. Working experience is as a Chief of Medical and Healthcare at Mobile Brigade and Indonesian Police Special Forces, Bangka Belitung Islands, and Chief of Medical Healthcare, Bangka Police Resort, and medical staff of service department long time ago, yeah, but now he is the orthopedic surgeon, orthopedic spine surgeon of Siloam Hospital, Kebon Jeruk, and head of emergency department of Hospital Said Sukanto Bayangkara Hospital, 2019 until today in Celtech Stem Cell Center also. And he has so many certificate, training, workshop in his life. And if I read, it's going to be 1 hour. Congratulations. Congratulations, and continuing orthopedic education of Indonesian Orthopedic Association in 2016. Dr. Charles Siagian, specialist orthopedic spine, Alpha K. I give you 15 minutes and more. I give you the stage. Dr. Professor, welcome. The role of mesenchymal stem cell in degenerative spine disease by our doctor, Dr. Charles Siagian. Please, doctor.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you. And first of all, I would like to congratulate Bosowa University for the, I think it's 35th anniversary. So congratulations, hopefully for a great future. And I see that most of our participants are Indonesian, so if you don't mind, I will speak a little in Bahasa so we can understand clearly
Of
about.
course, you can mix, Doctor.
Okay, mix Bahasa and English.
Yes, please.
Okay. I will speak about degenerative diseases. We know that this is the most common cause of back pain. Okay, about 30 million people per year had back pain because of degenerative disc. And this symptom is caused by wear and tear of the spine disc. Okay, you know that actually degenerative disc disease is not a disease. Sebenarnya bukan penyakit. It's a natural condition, yeah, and related to age. And then it progress over time, ya. Jadi jangan bilang itu penyakit. Sebenarnya semua orang pasti akan mengalami ini pada akhirnya. And spine disc particularly unlike the other, ya, because in spine disc di dalam bantalan itu discus itu we have a limited blood supply, ya. So kalau ada kerusakan sulit sekali untuk penyembuhan atau regenerasi. Okay, this is the treatment. Saya lakukan ada GP it means the general practitioner. Saya lihat di sini banyak teman-teman mahasiswa kedokteran. Jadi di sini ranahnya Anda sebagai mahasiswa kedokteran untuk melakukan pain management pada orang nyeri punggung, ya. If someone have a back pain, then you can do pain management, ya, dengan obat-obatan analgetik, ya. Kemudian exercise, you can suggest exercise for all of the patients, ya. Physical therapy, ini also rehab, ya, fisioterapi dan rehabilitasi medik. Lifestyle modification buat mereka, ya, jangan angkat-angkat yang berat, kemudian kurangi berat badan, ya, that's the most important. Dan satu lagi adalah stem cell, dan ini adalah kombinasi antara anti-aging doctor and spine surgeon. Why? Because untuk memasukkan itu harus memerlukan teknik, ya, dan yang terakhir setelahnya surgical. Sebenarnya surgical itu adalah alternatif terakhir pada pasien degenerative disc disease. Ya, stem cell in spine disease, we know that regenerate the formation of fibrous tissue, and it can repair the soft tissue damage. Young age, ya, yang muda itu sebenarnya the best candidate for stem cell pada degenerative disc, ya, karena ada beberapa walaupun usianya masih 40 tahun, tapi sudah degenerative spine disc-nya. Ya, jadi jangan kira degenerative disc itu hanya pada 50 tahun, 60 tahun, ya. Pada umur 30 tahun saja bisa terjadi degeneratif, ya. Dan there's a clinical trial in 2017 in Cedar Sinai Medical Center that 2 milliliter injection stem cell into the nucleus pulposus can improve degenerative diseases, ya, and fast score-nya turun, ya, decrease, and then the MRI improve, dan dari 26 from 26 that need surgery, only 6 that underwent surgery. Jadi hanya 6 dari 26 orang yang akhirnya menjalani operasi. This is a laser disc decompression. Ini tindakan untuk melakukan laser, di mana laser itu sebenarnya untuk mendekompresi disc atau bantalan. Ya, we put a contrast inside of the disc. So this is from the AP view. Kita melakukan injeksi kontras. Setelah kita yakin bahwa itu adalah disc, and then we put a laser. Ya, kita kasih laser, kita kasih panas. Dan setelahnya, after that, we check from the lateral view dari samping, ya, kita yakin bahwa ini intradiscal is inside the disc, and then after that we can put a stem cell, ya, not much, just 2 millimeter enough, ya, inside of the disc. Okay, So this is the application of the laser. Yeah, we can look at the laser, and then after that we can continue into injection of stem cell. So Professor and all of the participants, actually kita bisa mengkombinasikan sebenarnya Prof ya antara preventive medicine dan curative medicine ya. Saya sebagai spine surgeon itu ada di curative medicine ya, dan saya senang sekali Prof mengajak saya untuk bergabung sehingga kita bisa melakukan kerjasama yang baik untuk kesembuhan pasien yang lebih ya, karena kita tahu dari sekian banyak pasien yang mengeluhkan nyeri tulang belakang hanya 10% kurang yang sebenarnya kandidat untuk operasi. 90%-nya tidak memerlukan operasi, dan 90% itu saya yakin dengan stem cell kita bisa mencegah, seperti tadi clinical trial untuk 2017 kita bisa mencegah orang-orang yang memerlukan operasi menjadi tidak operasi. Saya kira itu Prof. Kedepannya saya yakin teman-teman dari mahasiswa kedokteran Universitas Bosowa akan terbuka wawasannya bahwa sebenarnya kita harus ada di preventive medicine. Itu udah benar, bukan kuratif. Saat ini alokasi anggaran pemerintah lebih banyak ke kuratif. Padahal kita tahu there is a promotive, preventive, harusnya itulah lebih banyak alokasi. Gitu. Dan semoga stem cell menemukan jalannya ya, penelitian sekarang sebenarnya Prof, there's a lot of research about stem cell in Indonesia.
Yes,
ya.
yes.
But in other countries ya mereka sudah banyak sekali.
Yeah.
Jadi sebenarnya we got nothing to prove about stem cell. Kita sudah yakin bahwa stem cell.
I agree with you. It's already evidence-based medicine, Dr.
Yeah, so there's nothing to prove. Stem cell sudah yang advance. Ya, saya kira gitu, Prof.
Ya, terima kasih banyak.
Thank
But
you so
we do
much,
our
Prof.
research together, ya, Dr. Charles
Prof.
Siagian. Great presentation, very good presentation from Dr. Charles Siagian. As we can see, siapa yang sekarang duduk tidak sakit belakangnya? Everybody has their back pain, ya. Almost everybody. You don't need to wait until 50 years old.
Right.
I saw many patients come to you. Ada yang baru 25 years old, scoliosis, and you remember what Dr. Henry Suandra said also, the low level of vitamin D3 in our body is also make this big problem in young generation. And I can see a patient of Dr. Charles, we will do the research together, sedang dipersiapkan. Jadi kita nanti presentasi mungkin ya Dr. Marhen pada kesempatan selanjutnya, karena ada pasien yang sudah harus dioperasi, tidak mau dioperasi, umur 70 tahun datang kepada Dr. Charles dan dikombinasikan terapi itu, dan harusnya 3 kali, baru 2 kali pasiennya dicari, lo udah balik kantor. Waktu datang lehernya begini, kemudian sudah lurus dan kemudian itu dipersiapkan. Jadi itulah yang akan dibuat penelitian yang banyak, dan saya setuju dengan Dr. Charles, nothing to prove, tapi kalau bikin research nggak ada salahnya supaya Indonesia makin kaya. Tapi mimpi saya suatu hari Indonesia bisa menjadi pusat medical tourism. Tentu saja bekerja sama karena ada 74 negara teman-teman yang menonton. Jadi we can collaborate the expert specialist from Indonesia, from France, from Germany, dan also from Bosowa University. Thank you very much again, Dr. Charles Siagian, for a great presentation. And if you have any question, you can write it down in the chat, and doctor will be ready to answer. Professor, doctor, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the last presentation. The last presentation is from Dr. Jana Janovska. Dr. Jana Janovska from Republic of Latvia. She is one of the first and leading expert in Baltic and European countries. She is specializing in regenerative, preventive, and anti-aging medicine physician, dermatologist, leading scientific researcher in the field of dermatology, endocrinology, epigenetic, and nutrigenetics, as well as the owners of several international patents and anti-aging composition and skincare scale and anti-aging scales. The recognized lecturer who has received international recognition at the world level, congresses and symposium. And Dr. Jana is president of Latvia Anti-Aging Society and the board of World Council of Preventive and Anti-Aging Medicine in Paris. And she also many times on the training the doctors and alumni of the intellectual methods and preserving health and beauty. And today the presentation is relationship between DNA methylation and metabolic syndrome, the epigenetic clock. I welcome our host before, Dr. Jana Janowska. I give you 15 minutes. Please, Dr. Jana, are you here?
Thank you very much, Professor. It's very kind. Thank you. So, can you please share my presentation?
Sure. Karen will help.
This presentation is combined presentation. So this is my research work together with a team from Germany. So this is a co-project. We investigated a group of metabolic syndrome patients and visualized their biological age. So as my PhD work is done on metabolic syndrome and skin manifestations particularly, I will go in details and introduce our results. So next slide, please.
Wait a moment. Okay. All right.
Good. So the first slide, I would like to ask, how do you think they are in the same age or they are in different age? Basically, they are in the same age, okay? One guy is very fit and very happy and positive, okay? And another guy looks a little bit with insulin resistance, maybe metabolic syndrome, but central type of obesity, basically, definitely. So that means that maybe their biological age and cells feels also different. Next slide, please.
Next slide.
Okay, so we can go forward and you can also press a next button. So I would like to highlight that our aging process is unfortunately irreversible, but basically now in our 21st century, we are able to control the aging process, and also the most important thing that we don't want to have an illness. So let's look in the next slide, please. Yes, you can move on until the end. And just to highlight that our aging theories, we know very good our genetic instability, but this moment I would like to highlight particularly the endocrine theory, aging, and also oxidative stress, as well as immunological theory. We can move. As we know that still regarding the WHO, we have the deaths due to diseases which we can recover and also we can avoid. So these are cardiovascular diseases, stroke, and also diabetes. So this is absolutely necessary to understand how our epigenetic clock works and how our cells feels. Next, please. So how we divide our chronological and biological aging, because I told that we measure a biological aging. So basically the chronological aging, this is how person have lived or living, or this is a passport data, but the biological aging, how person looks like. So this is a senescence. Next, please. And I like this scheme very much because this is easy to show to our patients as well to understand the aging. So we have a telomerase shortening, and also we can measure our telomerases, as Professor Debbie told that she also using this technique, and this is absolutely great. We have oxidative stress, which we also can measure, which can lead to preventive premature aging, and for sure a glycation. So the glycation is one of the risk factor for accelerating aging. Next, please. We can move to next slide because the telomerase shortening is also linked to our exogenic risk factors. So we can move to the next slide. And there are different risk factors which impact the speed of telomerase shortening. Interestingly, that it is recently also had different data in articles that BMI, body mass index, including the obesity or insulin resistance, impact the speed of telomerase shortening. So that means that if patient has a higher BMI, probably his telomerases are shortening faster. Next, please. And epigenetic modifications such as DNA methylation, histone modification, and chromatin remodeling related to gene expression in stem cells are also very important. Next, please. So recently there was a study where was shown that the thickness of subcutaneous fat in the occipital region is linked to chronic latent inflammation and also accelerated telomerase shortening. So if we see the increased nuchal fat in the neck, that means that basically these patients clinically are in the risk. And we have to act with patients with accelerating biological aging. We can move. Sure, oxidative stress with its chronic latent inflammation is as independent promoter of oxidative stress. And as a professor also Ruhi told about the oxidative stress and ozone therapy, this is all of the linkage between these risk factors. We can move. Why biological aging, and we are calling as inner age? So firstly, we can evaluate the effectiveness of our therapy. So if we are, for example, today, we are highlighting the topic of regenerative therapy and also stem cell therapy. So for us, it's very important to understand the quality of our health. And this is a very good objective marker how we can perform our therapy before and after. I mean, in a more deeper vision. Okay, so the next one, please. Why it is important to make a research in this field? Because as we know that 70 to 90% of healthcare costs are going to the degenerative diseases, as per se is like an aging disorder or organ damage. And for sure, none of us want to feel sick or ill. Next, please. What does it mean, epigenetics? So to be very simplifying, this is a topic when we can discuss risk factors from external, which can switch on our genes or switch off. Next, please. We can move. So we can see there's a scheme which is together. We have basically genetics with its SNPs, as also Dr. Dauk highlighted, which we cannot basically treat, okay, and epigenetics. So the factors which we can still manage, and to this epigenetic factor, one of the very important moment is methylation, and for sure our environment all together are impacting our cells and our genes. Next, please. So the degree of active or inactive our genes are surrounded with a lot of external factors, including artificial vitamins, including UV light, radiation, chemicals, pollutants, etc. So we every day, every second, we have a lot of these exogenous triggers which might damage our genes. Next, please. So, and to be more concrete, the DNA methylation, this is an epigenetic modification, which is unstable and involves the transfer of methyl group from S-adenosyl methionine to the fifth nucleotide to form 5-methylcytosine. So when this amino acid is methylated, then it becomes to 5-methylcytosine. And this is proof that this is important either in autoimmune diseases and also to metabolic diseases. Next, please. So here you have, and there's a two most popular DNA metal age clocks. So we have a Hanuman clock and Horvath clock. This is a more popular epigenetic clock, and in both we are checking the tissue. In one case, we can check the blood. In other case, we can check also other tissue and cells, okay? So we can move. Okay. And we can move to the next one. So this is a Steve Horvath. What is the link between the obesity basically and DNA hydroxymethylation? So first of all, this is a very important that there is a low-grade chronic inflammation. It's considered as essential link between the obesity and its comorbidities. The inflammatory mediators are able to induce changes in the epigenetic landscape by itself. Hypoxic conditions favor the increase of reactive oxygen species and oxidative stress, both described as important inflammatory mediators. By the way, they also can impact different genes, such as clock gene, by the way. And if there is a circadian rhythm disturbances, again, we have this accelerating aging for all of the organs. Next, please. Our team research, so we can move. Our aim of the study, so to analyze the extent to which the presence of metabolic syndrome with insulin resistance and obesity affects the hydromethylating deviation of the DNA. Next, please. And hypothesis that hydromethylatation is altered in the presence of metabolic syndrome or the presence of associated symptoms such as arterial hypertension, insulin resistance, and obesity. Next, please. We have analyzed 100 patients, metabolic and non-metabolic syndrome. We have checked the biological age as was determined by measuring DNA hydroxymethylation status. Also, we have done all the laboratory data for the vitamin D and cholesterol level, HOMA, insulin resistance, etc. We can move. Sorry for slow. Okay, so here you can see the distribution, and we can move next one. Yes, and here you can see that if there is a increasement of BMI, so increasement of body mass index, then the metal age also increase. So that means that there is a slight increasement of this biological age. Next one. So we can see that a patient who has an obesity on metabolic syndrome, his DNA hydroxymethylation is higher than their chronological age. Next, please. And also there is a positive correlation between the DNA hydroxymethylation metal age and waist circumference. Next, please. Also, there was a positive correlation between the skin changes, such as dyspigmentation with hyperpigmentation and the DNA hydroxymethylation. Next, please. And for sure, we have a positive correlation between the metabolic syndrome by itself and DNA hydroxymethylation. Next, please. This is our last slide regarding the biological clock and chronological clock. So here I want to highlight that in group of metabolic syndrome patients with obesity, they have plus 7.8 years more than their passport data or chronological aging. Next, please. As a conclusion, statistical parametric analysis on age difference between chronological and biological aging showed that metabolic syndrome patients have a higher biological age than the control group, 7.8 years. In the metabolic syndrome group, in the skin shows more expressed clinical aging relating changes such as seborrheic keratosis, telangiectasia, loss of turgor, and hyperpigmentation. Next, please. And the initial results are, I think, it's very promising, and the metabolic syndrome group has a significantly larger metal age than a control group. Hydroxymethylation of DNA is a good epigenetic, easy-to-use objective marker for aging and risk assessment by itself, especially in the alliance with glycation and oxidative stress research. Next, please. Thank you for your attention.
Great, Dr. Jana, it's very interesting presentation. Dr. Jana, thank you very much about methylation and changes in our DNA. Your research together with Dr. Claude Dahl and Professor Bernard, of course, I know him from Austria. And I think many questions will come to you with this presentation about methyl age. And I can see the metabolic syndrome, the waist circumference. In Indonesia, we have that problem. Not only women, but also the men, especially the men, because the food here, you should come here and try the food, is very nice. And we eat most carbohydrate. Thank you again, Dr. Jana Janovska from Latvia, the president of Latvia Anti-Aging Society and the board of the Council of Preventive and Anti-Aging Medicine in Paris. I remember we'll start the consensus again, hopefully next year in Paris again with Dr. Claude Dahl, and hopefully many Indonesian participants can join us. And I would like to welcome Dr. Ursula Manson from Dubai. Ladies, Ursula, how are you? Professor, doctors, all the scientists, thank you very much for your participation in this international webinar. Dr. Jana is our last speaker for today, and I'd like to open for discussion. I asked Dr. Marhan, we will discuss or we will close, and he said, Aturjo. Please manage.
Okay, so
yes,
time for you.
Yeah.
Time for VOCTM today.
Okay, thank you. And time for Medicine Faculty, Bosowa University. I already see many questions, Dr. Marhain, the Dean. There is question for Dr. Dahl. How can we prevent the high telomerase activity with cancer? And also there is question about, is there any significance difference regarding patient after COVID-19 in the administration of anti-aging treatment? Is Dr. Claude Dahl here? Okay, if Dr. Claudel still listen, maybe he can answer this question. Otherwise, I will write the.
Can you repeat the question,
Oh,
please?
merci.
I am here.
Merci beaucoup. Yes, the question is there any significant difference regarding patient after COVID compares the one with administration of anti-aging treatments like hormone, vitamin C, antioxidant, and the one without any anti-aging supportive like vitamin D, melatonin, like that. So please, Dr.
Regarding the COVID.
Yes.
Regarding the COVID-19, to fight the COVID, the best hormones is the estradiol, because estradiol decreases the ACA2 receptors actions. So women is the reason why women have less impact of COVID than men. Particularly young women are very resistant to COVID-19.
Oh, okay.
And you have nearly the same effect with testosterone. Men with andropause and treated with testosterone are more resistant to COVID-19. But the strongest fact is that estradiol is the greatest provider of nitric oxide, which is the first line of fight against the COVID. And also, perhaps you remember that the glycocalyx, which is the coat on cells, which is the most resistant part from the cells against virus and microbes and so on. This glycocalyx is very high in patients with low hemoglobin glycolated or low HOMA index. Is the reason why, for example, diabetic people have very thin glycocalyx and have deleterious effects with COVID-19. So to increase the glycocalyx, it's only estradiol and testosterone.
Okay, all right.
And the telomeres also are linked to the same thing. So the lifestyle, the food, the nutrition, the low HOMA index, the low hemoglobin glycolated index are one of the most important factors against COVID, against many viruses. And this is linked to hormones and to nutrition.
Thank you very much, Dr. Claudel. So we have to care about taking care of the hormones also for the man, the testosterone level, and the woman is the estradiol level, and beside that, the other nutrition. Thank you. I think it's a very clear answer. And I have another question for you, President Wosiam. A great presentation, Professor Claudel, and I want to ask about possible stem cell. Is there many research for stem cell therapy simultaneously for wellness and anti-aging? Is there any research in the world for stem cell therapy for wellness, for hormones? Thank you.
Yes, there is research about this, about the genes and about the receptors of hormone and about the detoxification of hormones. The goal in the future will be to manipulate the stem cells with CRISPR-19, for example, with a CRISPR-9, and to try to go to people the good genes in stem cells. Because you know, with people with some SNPs, for example, some too much activity of CYP19, of CYP17, with low activity of COMT or glutathione transferase, for example, these people are more risky for cancers, for obesity, and so on. So it's not only stem cell, it's to give people the good stem cells.
Yeah.
And the research is going on. Take for example, a fibroblast, do a stem cell, but manipulate these stem cells to put out the bad genes, the bad SNPs, and to put the good one inside.
Thank you, Dr. Claudel, because as you say, the stem cells is also aging. Actually, you have still 100 trillion of stem cell, and we're getting old. Our stem cell is also aging. That's why we have to have a good stem cells. Not stem cells, like Dr. Charles, Dr. Huntal make presentation about different between mesenchymal stem cell and the secretome, and he can say the big car, Rolls Royce, is the stem cell, and the secretome is like the small car. So I'm going to use the speaker. Thank you very much, Dr. Kaudal, for a very good answer. And I think the participant who asked this question, she is very happy with your answer. And another one. At what condition do we have to choose to use stem cell therapy?
Good question. I think before stem cell therapy, you should prepare the body. You should optimize the body. Yes. Optimize the parameters. For example, have low homocysteine, have very good vitamins levels, have good hormones levels, and methylation, to test the methylation. We have now a test to know the level of methylation of your body. If you have a good methylation, no demethylation, or low demethylation, good aromatase, good homocysteine, good vitamins levels, good hormones level. In this case, you can introduce stem cells.
Thank you. Very good.
If you have a deleterious body, it's not a good idea. First, prepare the body.
All right. Okay, Dr. Kaudal, I can summary. The therapy of stem cell, you have to make 3 stages: preparation, prepare the body, prepare the hormone, prepare the nutrition, and then come to the stem cell therapy and post therapy. So keep the healthy lifestyles and also the methylation.
Exactly.
And this question for you in Dr. Jana also about the check of methylation, the changes in DNA methylation. I can see you measure also the IGF-BP3, but in Indonesia, unfortunately, we don't have that check in the laboratory. What we have is IGF-1 level. Is it enough? Because that's what I do. I measure the telomere length of my patient. Of course, the waist circumference very easy. But about IGF-BP3, we don't have the check here. Maybe we should send to laboratory in Kaudal or in Europe. So what is your answer? Can we check just IGF-1 level, Dr. Jana?
Thank you for your question. It's very interesting. Yes, I think that you can for sure check the IGF-1. This is number 1. Number 2, you can send also to us if you want. And number 3, also check also skin. If there's a lot of papillomas and keratomas, then growth factor is increased. And if it's also associated with HOMA, this is definitely that.
Thank you. Thank you for your answer. I'm happy. So if I check the other one, I'll send it to you or Professor Kaudal. Thank you, Dr. Jana Janowska. I have question for Dr. Rui Chakir, but I can see Dr. Rui Chakir already asked permission because he has a patient for that. And there is question for Dr. Huntal. Where is Dr. Huntal? Oh, maybe already with patient. And Dr. Charles. Okay, Dr. Huntal. There is a question for Dr. Huntal. If the question is, if we have money, this is about money. No, if we have money, what should we choose between stem cell, mesenchymal stem cell therapy, or secretum therapy for the patient with diabetic disease and patient with the symptoms of the fatigue? I hope Dr. Huntal is here, but if it's not here, so I move to a question for Dr. Charles. How many times therapy for a spine disease for the patient with low back pain? Dr. Charles? Okay, I think they are with patient.
Hello, bro.
Oh, okay.
Hello,
bro.
Yes.
Ya,
Trying
Dokter,
to end.
question mau pilih yang mana? Kalau punya uang katanya,
Okay.
pilih mana?
Yeah, thank you. Actually, the therapy for the diabetes mellitus cure with the stem cell is already as a standard therapy.
Yes.
With the mesenchymal stem cells.
Yes.
Of course, because due to the capability of the mesenchymal stem cell to repair the cell that already already not used, or actually in the pancreas, maybe in the second diabetes mellitus, in the type 2 diabetes mellitus, there is a need to repair by the mesenchymal stem cell. Yes. So my answer is the mesenchymal stem cell is the best for the therapy for the diabetes mellitus disease.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So you're not going to choose, yeah, the other one is cheaper, I think half price, but the effectiveness is already evidence-based in many countries also. And we
already standard.
Already standard. And we also start the research with the patient with HbH1c. We try in many patients, it's from 12, 11 is going down below 9 in 6 months. So we will put the research together one day and we will report. Thank you very much, Dr. Hunter Napoleon.
Thank you. Thank you.
The participant happy? Yes, he's happy with the answer. And Dr. Charles is here, is still around or in the operating room? Dr. Charles?
Yes, Prof.
Okay. Yes, there is a question for you. If the low back pain for a patient with like 40 years old, how many times do you think you need to do the stem cell therapy?
Okay.
Yes.
First of all, we have to know the source of the back pain. Yeah. Usually, my presentation is about the disc. Okay, degenerative disc. So if the problem is on the disc, so then we can only put about 2 milliliters of stem cells, because we know that the disc is very hard to inject a saline or a water inside of the disc. So mostly 2 milliliters is enough. Then what we discussed previously, several months, we discussed about the amount of the stem cell inside of the disc. So I often ask you, Professor, so how many million that we can put into 2 millimeters? So the answer is about 10 to 20 million.
Yes, can be more.
Could be more, but it's the average of the cells. So, and how many times, if the problem is on the disc, so in the literature, there's still no conclusions about how many times, but from study 2017 that they evaluate the patients for about
I come later.
1 year, and the result is the decreasing of patients that need the surgery is only 6 from 26, and the FAST score is decreasing. So 2 to 3 times repeatedly injections of the stem cell could be enough. Thank you, Prof.
Thank you, Dr. Charles. And I think that's a great answer. And as Professor Claudel said, that as I also always said to the students, that in anti-aging medicine is tailor-made. It's not like SML dress. It's always tailor-made. It's depend to the person. It's depend to the quality of life, laboratory result. Everybody is special. But I agree with you, 2 to 3 times. Most research say it's enough, but again, it's depend. And I agree with Dr. Claudel and also the other speaker, Dr. Hunter, and everybody here, that we have to prepare the patient. Not a single bullet, not only stem cells, but before stem cell therapy, in many centers in the world, we improve first the hormone level, the nutrition. Even I always measure the telomere length of the patient. And because we not only improve the appearance, but also we make the biological age getting younger. And I hope it's activated the gene. As my research in the St. Petersburg about sirtuin gene, my favorite one to get younger. So that's the result. And I think we come to almost the end of the presentation. I'd like to welcome Dr. Ursula Manson from United Arab Emirates. Ursula, can you listen to me? Okay. Dr. Ursula?
Yes. Yes.
You have your presentation with me, or you say congratulations?
I would just like to greet everybody
Okay.
and congratulate to everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Ursula Manson, our friend from the World Council Preventive Anti-Aging Medicine in Dubai and Sweden. She's very kind. I think everybody should know her. Always hosts our meeting in Stockholm or in Dubai. Thank you very much, Dr. Ursula.
See you in Dubai. See you next time in Dubai.
Yes, next Congress.
Next year. At least next year.
Oh, next year. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Ladies and
Thank you to all. Thank you to the great presentation and a really good thema and up to date everything what is needed.
Thank you, Ursula. And the last question is about people who want to study in a Master Anti-Aging Medicine. Can you show the question is how many credits? Can you show? Just give 1 minute because I have to answer the question since Professor Jaime Rodriguez is not here. Professor Raul Debot in aeroplane, but the aeroplane I think just landed. The question is how many credits for Master and Preventive Anti-Aging Medicine? Is 60 credits. That's the answer. Is duration is not 2 years actually, it's 1.5 years. And the main campus in Barcelona, Spain. And the methodology is a mix, so it's like sandwich. So people can study by online and only make the thesis and fly there for the examination, for the presentation and graduation. And enrollments already start in July, but the next enrollment it will be on January. And the module is about stem cells, senescence of aging, nutritional therapy, metabolic, methylation, and peptide bioregulation, research methodology, and information technology support, about diet, obesity, physiology, and sexual lifespan, about hormone and choice of subject, and hormone therapy and genetic typing practice, thesis and research. So that's the program, 60 credits, I think, and a working collaboration with 12 universities around the world. And there are totally 8 modules, and you will have certificate, and there is get scholarship 10,000 euro. Okay. Okay, thank you very much. I stopped sharing. That's from Dr. Raul. Who interested to study? I think Dr. Huntel and Dr. Charles already make registration. Professor, Dr. Marheim, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you to all our speakers today.